Welcome back to Red Business in Focus with Cork's local enterprise offices, where we are sharing Cork's success stories. And this week we've got Emily Ahern of Evolve Therapy. Evolve Therapy is a Cork-based speech and language therapy, occupational therapy and educational psychology company, and she's grown it from strength to strength over the years, gaining experience in telehealth with online speech therapy in Australia. So when COVID hit, she had the skills and the expertise to move sessions online to continue to assist clients throughout the pandemic. Emily, how are you?
Hi Jonathan, thanks very much for having us on today.
It's lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now you've 30 seconds, like everybody does on this particular programme, to tell us in more detail what you do. So your clock starts now.
Hi, I'm Emily Ahern and I own a speech and language therapy, occupational therapy and educational psychology clinic. And we are a team, we're based in Mallow in County Cork, and we offer online services remote in Ireland and internationally.
You didn't even need the 30 seconds, you got it all out there in one. Now, this is the kind of business for which there is a very high demand, because we know of shortfalls in state services, and you have a lot of people out there who are desperately looking for support and advice. So it's very timely that you have this business up and running.
Yes, I suppose things have changed hugely. When I opened first, I was by myself. Now we've a fabulous team in place, but things have made private therapy more accessible to families over time. One being private health insurance. Some days I almost feel like I could be a rep on the phone for a health insurance company. But if families know how they can claim back therapy, it does make it more accessible to them. So some of the health providers offer up to 75% back on up to €4,000 or €8,000 for around kind of €35 a month. So I suppose that's where families are now finding the means in these times to be able to access private therapy when there isn't, I suppose, as much ongoing support with state services.
How important is intervention in this type of service, the intervention that you and your team can provide?
Huge. And I suppose the earlier that a child gets to us, we would hope the less time in the long term that they would have to be with us. A lot of the time it is that we are trying to see families as early as possible to get that intervention in. For some types of therapy, children actually need more intensive intervention, and that's something that I suppose in private therapy we can really offer. We have a very skilled team. All of us spend a lot of time upskilling, studying. You know, we've one of our members on our team has just finished a postgrad in sensory processing. We've got specialists in high-tech communication. We're all delving into something. I think we're probably a team that are obsessed with learning. So that in itself is really aiding us to be able to offer the types of intensive therapy that children need. Like this week alone, one therapist has done 3 high-tech trials with families. And I mean, we're only today on Wednesday.
That's true.
So that will tell you, 3 families are being offered the opportunity to get their child in front of a device that can offer them a voice, which, I step back sometimes and I think, okay, it was just me, but now it's a team, and what they're all doing and what they're offering intensively for families is just amazing.
An incredible thing to give somebody, to give them a voice. That really is somewhat incredible that you can do that. But when you look at this, the pandemic kind of turned everything upside down. I'm guessing that this type of therapy traditionally would have been done on a one-to-one basis. You couldn't do it over the phone, for example. So has it caused a problem that you've had to do so much online, or is that an opportunity?
Completely an opportunity. I kind of laugh because when I naively came home from Australia 7-8 years ago, when I was starting up Evolve, I did my first video a little bit like this, where I was interviewed and I had the sign for Evolve behind me, and I said, okay, I'm going to offer this all over Ireland. And then the phone calls started coming in and they were like, do you have a clinic in Dublin? Do you have a clinic in Mayo? And I was like, no, but I have my computer and we'll do it online. And I had been doing that remote in Australia. And I just assumed that Ireland, small country, no problem. If I do need to get into the car, I can drive to the person's house, but I will offer the therapy over the computer. And I think at the time, maybe 2 families went for it. And
we didn't have the broadband.
Yeah.
Probably the example was given at the time.
I know, the Aircom dial-up. And then I suppose when COVID hit in, I was like, okay, wow, this is going to be the test run to see for Evolve. Will this work? And we had 2 girls that were pregnant at the time. They went out on mat leave, and the first day was just before the announcement. And one of the therapists, Beth, our OT, and myself sat in the office, and it was empty. And I was like, okay, so now we just need to buy. We need to find out as many resources that we can get. We contacted every contact that I knew globally in America. We did videos with them. We asked them to show us the resources that they were using weekly, and we were up and going straight away. I think we were probably the first clinic in Ireland, to be honest, that was equipped to go.
And of course the need didn't go away just because we had a global pandemic. If anything, it actually got a little bit worse, and the intervention was very important. How did the local enterprise office help you, Emily?
So the local enterprise office, I suppose, has helped me at every step of my journey. So when I started out, I actually was lucky that I met one of the local representatives from the local enterprise office quite early, and she introduced me to the young entrepreneur competitions. So I entered them and was luckily successful twice within them, which allowed me access to a boot camp where I met like-minded individuals, where I learned about business plans and I suppose all of the technicalities that I never would have really had the opportunity to learn within speech and language therapy. It also gave me a network of people, some that I still meet for coffee monthly or weekly. And we've all seen each other's businesses grow from strength to strength over this time. And thankfully, all of our businesses are actually still up and going, which I think is a credit to the local enterprise office, because at each point that we needed them, they've always been there. So when COVID hit in, I did straight away, I went on to the website and looked to see what are the local enterprise doing, and Alan, he does website workshops, SEO consultations, so I did numerous consultations with them, and Joan, I suppose, has been my steady, she was my local enterprise I suppose mentor from the whole way. So I've had numerous coffee meetings, lunch meetings about things as the business has
all
grown.
steering you in the right direction. But the good news is the website is now very much up and running, and that's the main port of call for people who want to contact you. So what is the website address?
So our website address is www.evolvetherapy.ie, and bookings can be made on the website, and we also have a make an inquiry which allows families to go on to our waitlist.
Emily Ahern of Evolve Therapy, thank you so much for joining us on Red Business in Focus.
No problem. Thank you.
Now join us next week when we'll be joined by Fiona Long of Inner Zen Organics. Fiona is going to fill us in on her skincare business and how she wants people to know it's never too late to follow your dreams. Herself, she hand makes and hand pours every single item. She's got 5 small granddaughters and wanted them to know the benefits of growing up using natural products. What a brilliant starting point. We can't wait to hear Fiona's story. That's next week on Red Business in Focus with Cork's local enterprise offices.